All right, in this video, we are going to work on a practice problem number 3 from our section on conditional statements. All right, and so the statement of it says write a program that asks a user for a whole number distance. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. Distance equals int, and then input, enter a distance. I guess we should say as an int. All right. Okay, and then calculate and display the shipping cost based on the table below. So if the user enters 100 or less, the cost is $5. More than 100, but not more than 500, 8. And then more than 500, but less than 1,000, $10, and 1,000 or more, $12. Okay, so um, here, right, we're gonna use a conditional statement in order to decide that. And here we have multiple things that we need to decide between, and it's going to be one of these, right? So that tells us basically, if you think about whether or not we should use a simple if, an if else, or an else if statement, it's here going to be else if. We have more than two options to decide from, but we only really need to decide which one of these things it is, right? It's not going to be multiple values here. Okay. All right. So let's start off and with the first one. If the distance is less than or equal to 100, right, then we're going to create a variable called cost, and we're going to set that equal to 5. Okay. And then if, and so here it says more than 100. So you might write that as distance greater than 100, but not more than 500. So, and distance less than 500. Then, so not more than 500. So that would be less than or equal to 500. So you could do it that way, right? And it's not a problem with doing that. But here, right, it just says here you don't really need to include this part. You can simplify it a little better, a little more if you're using an else if statement, right? Because the else if statement, when it comes in here, if the distance is, this is not true, right? Say the distance is less than or equal to 100, it's going to set the cost equal to $5 and then skip all of the other cases here. So all you really need to do, you can do it like this again, not a problem, but you can make that a little simpler and just say if the distance is less than or equal to 500, okay? Then the cost is going to be $8. And then the next case up is more than 500 but less than 1,000. So for the same reason, we can just put less than 1,000. I do not, even though it has the commas there, do not put the commas in numeric literals in Python, because that will give some problems here. Let's see what happens when we do that. So here it says invalid syntax, so you can see that. But other cases, putting that comma in there will cause real problems, so don't do that. All right, and so here the price or the cost is going to be $1,000 or $1,000, $10, right, for that one. And so again, I could put more than 500 here, but if the price is less than 500, it's going to hit on either this one or this one, and it's going to skip this anyway. So there's no need to put that in there. And then On the last one, $1,000 or more. And so you could do something like this: L if distance is greater than or equal to 1,000, right? That'll work out just fine. But in that last case, you here we could do it again a little bit more simply and just put else cost is $12 here. So for anything else that doesn't fall into one of these categories, right, it'll just set the cost equal to 12 bucks. Okay. So here the else if statement is the one that we should use. Next up, we need to print the results to the user. So for a distance, let's say something for a distance of blank distance miles, the shipping cost. All right, line is getting a little long, so we'll just go to the next line. And then we need to format the cost. We'll put a $sign here and then put the variable for cost and comma 0.2f. So this will format the cost, right, with commas. I guess we don't really need the comma because the price is not too big here. The max it could be is 12. And then 0.2f, right, that will round it to 2 decimal places and then display it in the fixed point format, which is what we want. All right, and then end that with a period, and I think that's all we need. All right, so let's test this out. So if we do 0 miles, right, it will charge $5. So you could add something here to preclude that, but it didn't really say to do that. So I'm fine with that. So if we want to go 1 mile, the shipping cost is $5. If it is, let's see, 100, it should be $5, right? If it's 101, then the price jumps up to $8. If the distance is 500 exactly, right, then it should be $8. If it's 501, it should be $10. If it is 1,000, or let's just do something, let's do 987, that should be $10. And if it's 1,000, then it should jump up to $12. And then anything bigger than 1,000, right, it should be still $12. Okay. All right, that is it on this one.